This is a Tallahassee update from the Florida Retail Federation.
Hello, FRF members. We are coming to the close of week 6 of the 2013 legislative session. I am standing outside the chamber for the House of Representatives, waiting to speak to some of our favorite legislators to ask how their session is going. We have very exciting news today on the issue of e-fairness. The Senate Bill 316 by Senator Nancy Dietert, passed out of the Finance and Tax Committee today. It has 2 more committees to go, but today was a huge hurdle that we have overcome on this issue.
The bill amends Florida law to require out-of-state vendors that conduct business over the internet to collect and remit Florida sales tax on sales made to Florida customers. Frankly, this is a tax modernization. We fall under the same statutes. There's a lot of talk in the bill about mailing and printing. We fall under the same statute as the Sears catalog. Because frankly, the internet was not invented when we wrote our tax code. So I am not thinking of this as any kind of tax increase. It's a tax modernization.
The unintended consequence is that if that company selling on that internet does not have any physical location in this state, they are not required to collect the tax. They're selling the same items as the folks in your strip malls, and they have a competitive advantage over your neighbors and the folks you do business with every day. And that competitive advantage is up to 7.5% of sales tax.
My bill would allow immediate notification to the employer, so he might settle it a lot quicker than so it wouldn't go the full process.
House Bill 1125 by Representative Tom Goodson on the issue of wage protection passed out of the Local and Federal Affairs Committee this week. It was a very heated debate, but Representative Goodson fought valiantly and passed this bill out of a very tough committee. Thank you, Representative Goodson.
We have supported this bill for the past 3 years, and we are proud to support this bill this year because it is an improvement, we feel, on the previous 2 bills. The previous years, it was a straight preemption, and we heard from the workers' advocacy and the community organizations. They said they wanted a statewide solution to this issue. And so we believe that this year is an improved bill because it does provide a statewide solution. It recognizes the issue of wage theft in statute and places a clear, straightforward system for addressing it that is the same for all employers and all employees throughout the state of Florida.
The back-to-school sales tax holiday was heard on the House floor today, and its passage is imminent. We are very pleased to be standing outside the House chamber with one of our most business-friendly representatives, Representative Larry Ahern. Representative Ahern, you have sponsored the back-to-school sales tax holiday bill this year. Can you tell us a little bit about that bill?
Well, I'm very happy to have sponsored that bill, mostly because it gives our families of children, school-age children, a chance to save a little bit of money on the clothing that they might buy and the school supplies that they'll need. And this year, we've added an additional bonus to those that are buying products computer-related, the tablets, the pads, and some of the monitors possibly that they might need as technology becomes more and more in demand in our schools. So that's up to $750. We also have the $75 clothing allowance type things, up to $75 per item, and then the $15 on the regular necessary pencils and pens and notepads type things. So it's going to be August 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, so mark that on your calendars. And again, I'm really excited to be able to carry this bill this year and to help our families get their kids ready to go back to school.
Well, I can tell you that the state's retailers are also very excited about this bill. Can you tell us about another issue that you're working on this session? Any of the bills that you're working on?
Sure. Well, my other bill, or one of the other more important bills to me, is identity theft. We've been experiencing a rise in that. In fact, Florida's #1 in identity theft, unfortunately, and we'd like to make that not something that we're known for. So I have a bill that fixes a loophole in the law that was allowing people who had been caught in possession of hundreds of IDs in some cases that haven't used them yet to not be prosecuted because of an intent situation. And we're closing that loophole. That's going to give law enforcement the tool they need to fully prosecute the people that have been stealing identities in Florida and to take us off #1 on the list in that regard.
I can tell you this is an issue we're very supportive of in the business community. Well, Representative Ahern, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
And my pleasure. Thank you.
House Bill 391 one by Representative Mary Lynn Magar, would give a tax exemption to manufacturing equipment. This bill, we hope, would lead to an increase of manufacturing jobs in the state of Florida. This bill successfully passed its first committee of reference here in the House this week. We are pleased to introduce to you to one of the bright stars in the freshman class here at the House of Representatives, Representative Heather Fitzenhagen. Representative Fitzenhagen, tell us about your first session.
Well, it's been very exciting so far. I've learned a lot. We have a great camaraderie in our freshman class, and I think we're getting a lot of things done.
And what are the most important issues that you feel are facing the Florida House at this time?
Well, obviously, our budget is preeminent in our mind, but I think we've got a lot of other good bills that we're working on. I'm working on a credit freeze bill with Commissioner Putnam, which will ensure that kids' credit reports are not stolen and their personal information is not hijacked by bad people, and I think that's exciting. And I know there's a few other bills out there that are very business friendly that I'm excited about as well. I've got one that's going to streamline the cost of doing business in Florida by minimizing some of the filing fees for businesses.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much. We just wanted to introduce you to our members, and we look forward to working with you as a member of the House.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
We're pleased to share with you that the Organized Retail Crime Bill is moving very quickly through both the House and the Senate. The Senate bill by Senator Kelly Stargell and the House bill by Representative Ross Spano both successfully passed their committees of reference this week. I'll turn it over to Melissa Joyner, who's back in the studio with the pharmacy update.
Thank you, Samantha. Those are some great interviews. Now let's get on to some other bills. State regulation of pharmacies passed Senate Community Affairs this week. It's Senate Bill 1192 by Denise Grimsley. The bill will now move on to Appropriations Committee. This bill has the pharmacy preemption language in it, so of course Florida Retail Federation supports it. On to another issue of pharmacy, the Pharmacy Technician Bill, Senate Bill 818, passed out of Senate Health Policy on Tuesday. Last week this bill was TP'd until there was more time on the agenda. Senator Renee Garcia is leading the charge on this bill. The bill goes to Senate Reg Industries next. We are working hard to get it up in that committee and heard as soon as possible. Time is winding down. On to the subject of biosimilar substitution. This bill has been worked on by the Florida Retail Federation since the get-go. We are trying to come up with a compromise with Senator Denise Grimsley, who has Senate Bill 732. The bill passed out of committee this week, and it's going on to appropriations next. We need to work out a deal on this bill. It's important to our pharmacies here in Florida. House Bill 347 by Representative Doc Renuart passed out of committee this week. This is relating to our Florida distilleries. The bill will allow those distilleries to sell up to 2 bottles from their facility. That is all the good news we have for you this Friday. We'll see you next week.
This is a Tallahassee update from the Florida Retail Federation.